just popping in real quick. I thought I would record an intro. Bonnie's here, so she's thinking that I'm saying hi to her. So I have finally finished the tutorial for the little mini houses. So I will get that, well, you'll see it coming up straight after this, but I thought I'd just show you a few. I've got two favourites, and they're the ones that I put nice texture on. I think they're adorable. Just love them. But yeah, they all turned out very cute. Lots of different colours and shapes, and they really are popular. I sell them 3 for $12 or $5 each, and they sell really quickly, which is great. I probably have them on too cheap, but I would rather they sold and people get to have something cute in their house, and I really enjoy making them. So anyway, I will finish this here so that you can watch the actual tutorial. If you do make any, I would love to see your makes. If you're a YouTuber, then I'll be looking forward to seeing them on your kiln openings or your makings videos. But otherwise, I do have an email address that's linked down below, so feel free to send me them that way if you're just someone who just potters at home. I'd love to see them. Okay, thanks for watching, and hopefully now I'm just going to preempt the tutorial. I don't have a great setup like as it was just to do this little bit. I had to move a lot of stuff. I'm in a tiny little room. It's the darkest room in the house, so the lighting's not great, and unfortunately the selfie hoogie doofer, I didn't know that with attaching it to the board that I use, it was actually wobbling for some of it, so I hope I don't make you seasick. I did attach it then to the windowsill instead at one point, so hopefully that's not too bad. But anyway, have a watch, hopefully you'll make something, and I'll see you next time. Bye! Okay, so my clay has been rolled out to about that thick. Some bits are thicker because the houses can be all different sizes. And while it's still a bit soft, I just kind of make a few shapes of houses, just the beginning shape. So I'm just looking at, I'll make them around about that tall on the slot. Just have some dry clay because I've got marks underneath it. I'll do some slightly taller guys. Okay. Smooth it out. Now, I'll cut this one a bit longer because I can see the shape of the house here with a rounded off edge. Cleaning your wee knife thing because it does get a bit filled up. So that way it can be a wee house like that, and I'll just cut along with that same shape so it doesn't have that yucky looking edge, but it'll be a unique shape. They're just rough to start off with, and I tidy them up once they're a bit more set. They are quite soft still. And once I've got a pile of them on my wee pieces of wood, I'll put more wood on top just to try to keep them as flat as possible. And then I'll come in with the stamps once they've dried off a bit. So I'll cut some more shapes, but I'll put you on maybe speed up a little bit so that you don't have to painstakingly watch me. Okay, so next stage is kind of making sure everything's flat. Might be still a bit too soon. But at the moment they can stand up. Now they'll lose their shape as I go through and stamp onto them. I also just tested whether I could use the texture yet, just to see that it was not too soft. That one's kind of warped though, so speed up. And also it's quite easy just to get little bits of damage in there. So I just make sure that they've got some shape. Like, I don't care if they're quirky like that, but I'll just tidy up any funny bits like that. And usually the first thing I'll do is go through and outline the roof, so that when I put underglaze or glaze on there, there's a definite kind of line around. Okay, so I might just use I've got a smaller one there, yeah. So I'll just use a skewer or something. I think it is just a little bit still too soft. Quite often when I start, the first few are too soft, then the middle section is kind of just right, and then it starts to get just a bit too dry, because usually I'll do quite a few each run. And they're really quite popular, so it's quite fun just not thinking too seriously and just making whimsical houses. Hopefully you can see that. I've had to line up so many lights because oh, and I've got a fan heater going. Maybe I'll turn that off, it's pretty annoying. Sorry, it's been on through the first part. Oops. And hopefully you can't hear. My son's through one wall watching movies and my husband's through the other wall banging around. I'm not sure what he's doing. Okay. So I'll show you in real time for these 4 and then I'll probably fast forward a lot of the other houses, but I'll go through this one. You can put the texture on the roof first and then do this. It's not, I just pretty much pick up whatever piece I want to do at the time. Do the roof last if you wanted. We're coming into winter here, so the lighting is just quite even on a sunny day. Okay. So that one's got texture for the roof. Sorry about the shadows, and this tripod's quite wiggly. So I've got a couple of rollers that I sometimes use for texture on the roof. And then I also even my stamps that I have. Like this one. I'll use that, sometimes on the front of the house, sometimes on the roof. And then other times I will just simply scratch away so that it looks like a thatched roof. It's good for getting the texture look. And I won't, as much as it's killing me, I won't rub those off until it's a bit more dry. And this one, let's go with this. So just do that, and then it's always gonna put everything out of shape a bit. So the whole way through, as I'm doing any kind of stamping, I'll just shape them roughly straight again. It doesn't matter too much. And this one, these are probably too far between, but give it a go. Bonnie heard someone moving, so she thinks she's missing out on food. Just going to tidy up those lines that got a bit squished. And then I'll let Bonnie out. Another texture I use on roofs is the end of a pen. That works quite well too. So then what I usually do is find which door I'm going to use. Now I have these which are made by, I think you say it Relief, but I've got a whole wee set, doors and windows. So I'll just sketch my doors out. So what door will I use? I think this one can go on this guy. And I really am sorry for the shadows, I kind of can't do anything about that. So that you can go on this one. Do this one. So I just tend to do them in kind of batches. Right. So, windows. This one, I might do the little. I can do 2 of them. I'll do a couple down the side. And I'll do the bigger version on the back. And I quite like to make them whimsical, not all straight in a line. Okay, so that one is all done, and then I just get 2 pieces of wood and straighten everything out, and I try not to press it too hard together, but essentially I just sandwich it and give it a push back into shape. And then, whoops, and I damaged it a little bit. Trying to show it on camera, it's okay. I'll turn them sideways, give them another squish just to get them a little bit more straight. Like that. And then right at the end I'll give it a good tap on the bottom. Now I dry them flat again, so I'll put it back on the wood and sandwich that, but tomorrow, once they've dried a bit, I'll actually recheck that they are still flat and standing up. Sometimes I've had to shave off a bit off the bottom because it does kind of hold its memory and bulge back out. So I'll do this set with you, and then I'll record the rest, but I'll just fast forward through. Okay, let's do this one. I'll do 2 on the back. And maybe I'll do some bricks down the side. I need to straighten it first actually, because it is bulging a bit there. Quite good for a palette cleanser when you feel like you're under a lot of pressure and you can just do something fun. Okay. Okay, so that's roughly how I do the bricks, and then I'll come back in and tidy back through. Try to get rid of the lumpies as best I can, but it can all be hidden in glaze anyway. Okay. On this side. Okay. So now I will again do some squishing to make it straight. I'll show you the before. Quite wiggly and warped. And now pretty straight. Again, as it's drying, I'll just redo any lines where it might have got smushed over. So up in there I'll define that again, but for now I'll leave it as it is. Okay, you can have a circular window. And I'll do one here. And two of these. Down the side, I'll do my little ones. And I'll give that a squish. Okay. So they come together quite quickly and suddenly have quite a lot of character. This is my favourite one for the side windows, just because it's little. Give it a squish. We can't even see this off screen, but here we go. Right, I will, maybe I'll put this on time lapse because there's going to be quite a lot of these, and then I'll show you them at the end. Okay, it's a few hours later and I have got these done. Not sure how good you'll be able to see them. They turned out cute. And I won't do anything more with them now until tomorrow. So they've got detail on the back as well, and the sides, and those. What I did do, pop these back over here, is I found these little stamps that I had, and it actually turned out pretty cute. Oh, you can't see it. Maybe you can there. I quite like that detail anyway. But I will put the these on top of each other, which help weigh them down, so that'll keep them flat. And then tomorrow or the next day I'll actually check the bottoms, because they do start to bulge and then they don't sit flat anymore. So I'll kind of well, that's wobbling. I will flatten them down again just to make sure that they are truly flat, and if they need any finishing touches like the lines redone or anything like that from being squished, then I'll do that. And I think with this batch I might actually use underglazes to do the doors and the roofs, because that way after bisque I just need to clear glaze the whole lot, instead of remembering if I've used a glaze or a stroke and coat and where I can put clear, etc. But anyway, I'll bring you back probably at the point of underglazing, because you don't need to see me tidy up the lines. It's the same as what I did at the start. Okay, I'll be back soon. Okay, I'm just going to quickly show you how I flatten these guys down so that they stand up a bit better. So I've done these ones and they are pretty good now at standing. I can kind of rock the table and they don't move too much. So let's put these ones up. They're pretty good too. So I've wet my sanding pad, and I just simply do that until there's no wobble. And then just regularly wipe that, because you don't want to breathe that in. Like that. Okay, I brought the little houses out to video them out here so they get a bit more natural light. This is them with just underglaze on, so I'm going to be clear coating them soon so they'll turn completely pink. But this is how they're looking at the moment. Adorable. And the next time you see them, of course, they will be coming out of the kiln and nice and shiny.